Joining us today on MSUEagles.com is the new defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the Morehead State football program. It's Phil Burnett. And Phil, congratulations on the new position. We're excited about you joining the Morehead State athletics family. And you've been a couple different places here the past few years. You were a high school coach back in Indiana, and prior to that you were a defensive consultant for a Division II school in North Carolina. But I guess the most notable position in recent years was your role with the Ball State University football program when they really got things turned around from 2003 to 2010. And give us a few comments about those years and how you guys built a program into a national powerhouse that didn't have a whole lot of success before you guys arrived.
Well, it all started with recruiting in the year 2003. That was everything now in college football is facility raced, and Ball State at that time did not have the greatest facilities in the Mid-America Conference, and we attacked recruiting very hard. We placed a lot of emphasis on personal communication with the kids, and built relationship with high school coaches. And we did a great job recruiting kids that fit Ball State, fit our football needs, and kids that just believed that they wanted to be the best football player, and they came to Ball State.
You guys won 2 West Division championships in the Mid-American Conference. You went to 2 bowl games, the International Bowl and the GMAC Bowl. Let's talk about the 2008 season in particular, because that's when you guys were up to number 12 in the national polls. You were ranked throughout the season. Some well-deserved national attention for the kids in the program. You guys were playing a lot of midweek games on ESPN and various stations there. But just your thoughts on the 08 campaign and kind of maybe the pinnacle of your coaching career.
Well, that 2008 campaign was, it's the best in Ball State history. We went 12-2. We lost the MAC championship game, and then we lost the bowl game. But that year leading up to the MAC championship game, we had a good offense, a very good defense, and our special teams all meshed together at once. And we had older kids on offense. Our offensive line, we had 4 of the 5 kids were seniors. They played for 4 straight years, and they had played a lot of football. And we had a wide receiver in Dante Love, and we had a great tight end. We had about 2 tight ends that year. And on defensively, we ran to the ball and played hard and physical. And with the special teams, evolved around the whole thing, and the kids started to believe, and that's when it took off.
You come from a very good coaching tree, I guess people would say, and 2 of those coaches were your mentors at Ball State. Brady Hoke, who's now the head coach in Michigan, and Stan Parrish, who was a Division I head coach and has been in the game a long time. Right. Talk about working for those 2 men and some things that you learned moving forward.
Well, working for those 2 coaches, it's really done wonders for my career. With Brady, you learn, toughness, effort, and all those things, and how to run a program. And the same with Stan. Stan was the head coach at Wabash College, Marshall, Kansas State, and then Ball State. And he's got a great offensive mind, and it was really, really enjoyable to be around him and learn a lot of football from him.
Phil Burnett is our guest today on MSUEagles.com. He's the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the Eagle football program. And Phil, let's talk about the years you spent at California University of Pennsylvania. I believe that's when you first met Morehead State head coach Rob Tenyer. He called you recently a friend and mentor. And talk about those years and the relationship that you 2 have.
Well, Rob was already on the staff at Cal PA, and in fact, I lived in the same house I shared the house he lived in, and Rob was always one thing about Rob is his attention to detail, and that's the first thing I noticed when I got there, because one of his duties as a coach was academics, and he took that very, very seriously, and he was disciplined in that area and took that job very seriously, along with his roles of coaching on the offense.
You were a player in the Mid-American Conference as well. I take you back to the 1980s. You were, I believe, a center and long snapper
Right.
at Northern Illinois. Just your thoughts on your playing career and things that you learned that have helped you in your coaching career.
Well, there's so many things to learn if you're any kind of athlete at the collegiate level. You learn discipline, you learn sacrifice, and you learn to be a teammate, and that's the most important thing, because if you learn to be a teammate and trust your teammates and love them, and you're going to go out in society and be a great person.
Phil, let's talk a little bit about what you knew about Morehead State, the Pioneer Football League, and maybe this part of Kentucky prior to getting this job. I know that college football coaches consider themselves in a big fraternity. You guys talk, you see each other at conventions. I'm sure you watch a lot of college football games on television and have discussions with people who are in the sport. But what were some of the things that maybe attracted you to the job outside of your relationship with Coach Tenure?
Well, one thing about Morehead State is it's in a great location for recruiting. Because you can get to Louisville, you can get to Indianapolis, Indiana, you can get to Lexington, Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio. So there's a radius where you can get the kids in a big population area. And one thing that I know about Morehead State, I know the conference, the Pioneer Conference, because I know about Butler, Dayton, Valparaiso. I know about those schools, and it was a good fit for me because of the people that Rob brought in, and I felt that it'd be a good place to work.
You obviously have some defensive philosophy from the years that you've played and all the years you've coached. In the short term here, what are some of the goals and objectives for you in terms of meeting with players and evaluating guys from previous years and discussing things that might happen in the future?
Well, the first thing you have to do when you're a defensive coordinator is find an identity to what you want, and there's a lot of identities out there, and every coach is brought up a different way. And when I look back and when we get the coaching staff in here, we're going to evaluate the kids and run a defense that best suits them. Okay, and I want the defensive staff and myself. I want our fingerprint on this defense, and it's toughness, it's effort, okay, along those lines.
Well, Phil, we wish you all the best moving forward. Once again, we congratulate you on the new position. We look forward to working with you, and we'll check in with you and the staff several times before the beginning of the regular season.
Thanks.
Phil Burnett, the new defensive coordinator and linebackers coach at Morehead State. We'll have more announcements coming shortly on new assistant coaches here at MSU.